Hello and welcome to 2024. Happy New Year, I guess is what I'm saying. I wanted to do a quick little video, just kind of like I think I'll title it a channel update, which sounds pretty dramatic for what it actually is, but I just kind of want to discuss the channel, the content, and moving forward into the year of 2024. I don't normally do these because I don't really adjust from year to year. It's not like I have some big, okay, in 2024 I'm doing this, in 2025 I'm doing this. I just kind of let the content flow and evolve as it normally seems to want to do. It's very fluid, the process that I use when it comes to content creation on the internet. And in that regards, the channel will continue to do exactly what it has always done, and it will fluidly evolve, and the content will change as it wants to change. But I guess what I'm saying, the content that I have already invested in is going to continue in the way that you have experienced it thus far, like the read-throughs of Trigun and Vagabond are going to continue as they have been as well. And the content on the channel will continue to be probably about 2/3 manga and 1/3 book content, because even though the book content doesn't get the views and the engagement that the manga content does, I cannot in good conscience bring myself to lay down books or book content. I mean, I would continue to read books, but I can't even let go of the content, because that is like one of the big reasons why I started this channel, was to kind of discuss some of the books that I read. But when it comes down to it, I guess the primary point of this video here is to discuss new forms of content. I'm always looking into doing new things. Sometimes I'll add something quietly over here while letting other things kind of go by the wayside. Last year I started adding in the full manga reviews instead of chapter by chapter reviews or volume by volume reviews. Think Alita or Goodnight Poon Poon, where I just read the whole thing, or Knights of Sidonia, where I just read the whole thing and I just dumped a whole entire review so I didn't have to do the whole walkthrough thing. And that does two things. It gets me the ability to just read something in the background without having to make videos on it. And also, that way I can get more manga read and just read more things and experience more things. And also, the price of admission for those videos is a lot cheaper. I'm not asking you to get invested in a 14 video run of something. You can click on the video once, enjoy it, and be done, which I thought was a great idea. And then I started engaging in some comments with some people, and people tended to kind of disagree with me on that one and wanted more of the walkthroughs and did not seem to be enjoying the idea. I read this whole thing and here was my review of the entire thing, which I guess is what I want to know from this video. I mean, I would just like to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on what kind of content you would like to see moving forward. Maybe help me brainstorm and get some new ideas here, because I have plenty of ideas. What I don't have is plenty of time. I have that full-time job because, this doesn't pay bills yet. I mean, in that dream world that we all have of, like being a YouTuber or something, it would pay the bills. It currently does not. So, you have the full-time job. I am a parent with 2 children. I just don't have very many hours in a day to focus. So when I do fiddle fart with these other types of content, they don't always pan out. Sometimes I will put one up and that will be that. It'll be the end of that. I think I did one tier list video ever and never put any more up, which, speaking of tier lists, that is actually one type of content I would like to kind of get back into, bring some more of those around. Videos that are just more fun, maybe not more fun, but fun little videos that don't necessarily have a high price of admission. You don't always have to have read something or be the master of knowledge in a particular subject to just enjoy a good tier list video. I would also like to maybe incorporate some videos that are just more discussion based in general. Let's talk about a specific character, or let's talk about a specific character arc. Maybe what that character means to me, something like that, just discussion based. And speaking of all of that, I would like to incorporate Discord into the channel more. I put that up and I continue to promote it on my videos, but I kind of put it up and walked away from it. I don't engage with it as much as I should, and I don't incorporate it into the channel as much as I should. So like, say, for those tier list videos, it would be interesting if I could throw a shout out to the Discord community and be like, hey, why don't you make a tier list for me? Why don't you do like a Dorohedoro character tier list, submit it to the Discord, and then I'll film it and I'll do the tier list, but I'll go into it blind. So I won't know what exactly I'm going to be doing until I'm already on camera and I pull up the tier maker, and I'm just like, well, this is a complete, disaster or whatever. Is Johnson going to be on the character tier list? Is Johnson not going to be on the character tier list? I won't know until I'm already in there, and it could go very well or it could go very badly. These are just some of the ideas that I have had for the channel moving forward. Some of them I might try. Some of them might get left in the wayside, never to be seen or heard from again. But what I really need is your input as to what you are even interested in watching. And all of this is supplemental. This is just kind of stuff to be sprinkled in here and there periodically, because these read-throughs aren't going anywhere, my book reviews aren't going anywhere, and my overall manga reviews aren't going anywhere. So basically the content's going to stay the same. I'm just trying to supplement in various ways that is just a little bit more fun. One idea in particular that I have kind of an idea for, and even an example of here today, is I kind of want to maybe do like a comment of the week video. A video where I just take a comment and I highlight that comment and I kind of respond to it in long form video format. Because there are sometimes comments that are thrown at me in the comment section that I just have a shockingly large amount of things to say. And I normally, instead of just having some 3-paragraph long response, a lot of times I just choose to either put something mild that doesn't really express what I have to say about it, or I just don't respond at all, especially if they're negative. But sometimes I just have like a very shocking amount of things to say. For example, I got a comment this week that I really almost did make a video on. I guess we're doing it right now, where the comment was, I was talking about Trigun, and I got a comment that said, aren't you old to read a shonen you never read when you were younger? I think that's supposed to say, aren't you too old to read a shonen you never read when you were younger? And the short answer, no. But I had some thoughts on that. First off, I think that hit me so hard right there because that sounds like something I would have said when I was younger. Back when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I was like the most adult person that had ever been an adult. And I was too old to, all of that stuff was behind me. I'm the most hardcore person you'd ever seen in your life. I'm going to listen to metal music, and it is going to be the most metal music that has ever metaled in the history of metal. And, everything's going to be R-rated movies, and I do not have time for anything childish ever. And, it's like you don't have time for comedies, and like you reach this point when you're young adulthood, even into maybe your late 20s, even 30, where you're just, I'm a grown-up. I don't have time for childish things. And it's just, you lose that childhood whimsy and that magic for a good large portion of your life. And while you're doing all this, you literally have to physically stop yourself from enjoying certain things. Like, a shonen might come up and you're like, that's not funny. That's not cute. I don't like that. Because, you're too busy being big, tough, adult man, not enjoying the, kiddier side of life. I don't know. And I'm not saying that everybody loses this. I have a particular friend from childhood who never lost his childhood wonder, never lost his, he had this childlike wonder that he carried through his entire life to this day. And I'm like, I don't know how he did it. Good for him. Me, I got bitter and cynical there for a good chunk of my life. But anyway, so yeah, and see, this is the kind of stuff I can't put this in a comment. I would be there all goddamn day typing. Anyway, but and now here I am, now that I'm almost 40 years old this month, as a matter of fact, I've come out the other side of that cynicism, and now I'm going back and I'm looking at some of these things. I read his Dark Materials for the first time in my life last year, and it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I'm going back now that I'm older and I've kind of come out the other side of that cynicism, like I said, and I just am able to enjoy certain things. And I kind of want to lean into a little bit more of the shonen style stuff just because it's different. And there is one in particular, that being Dragon Ball, that I really want to read. Just because I've never read it before, but I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. It was one of those things at least in my generation, you came home from school, you sat yourself down, and you watched some Dragon Ball. But in my experience, it was also what was on TV at the time. I didn't have the DVDs, I didn't have the box sets, I didn't have streaming, so I probably saw most of the episodes in God knows what order I saw them in. It was not exactly what it is today. You just kind of got the luck of the draw, and you'd watch the Cell Saga or something, and then start all over again. You're like, oh my God, what is happening with this? Television back then was a nightmare. Anyway, I guess at the end of the day, long story short, you're never too old for anything. If you want to go and read something, you go read it. If you want to go and watch something, go watch it. And if you enjoy it, don't let anyone naysay you into not enjoying anything that you enjoy unless it's dangerous or hurting other people, whatever, something like that. But for the most part. And anyway, also those kinds of comment videos would be an interesting addition to the channel, just kind of for something like that, where I could be like, no, f you, I want to read shonen, asshole. So in 2024, the content's going to continue to evolve in the same way that it always has evolved. The only difference is now I really want to start incorporating you, your opinions, your voice more into the channel by just giving me all of your suggestions and trying to help me make this channel the best channel that it could possibly be. Honestly, I really just want to continue to evolve the content of the channel and add things here and there. I do it all the time and actually dump the footage. Believe it or not, I've filmed a bookshelf tour twice and dumped that footage both times because it was just not good enough. I would watch it back and it just was cringe level bad, just the way that I was doing it, and it wasn't good, so I dumped it. I'm at the point in my channel that if I film something and I think the footage is just bad, I will dump it before I'll ever even bother editing it. I'd rather put up no content than bad content. I mean, if you look back at the beginning of my YouTube channel, every other video was terrible. I try not to do that anymore, So, actually, to be quite honest, I would like to film a full studio tour at some point whenever I get done building it, because I'm literally sitting in my basement right now, and I have built this place one board at a time for over 2 years now, and I have put lots and lots of hours of blood, sweat, and tears into building this dream studio, for lack of a better word, and I still have drywall over here that has spackle and hasn't even been sanded. I have no doors on anything, and I only have half of a ceiling. It's literally taken me forever. So one of these days I'd like to give you something like that, but I got to get it done first. That'll probably be another year's worth of work, just because building materials are outrageous. If I wanted to put just one of the 3 doors that this room needs, it's like $150 a door. So, and that's not, let's not get into that. But anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, leave me all your comments down in the comments below. Tell me what you would like to see moving forward. Tell me what you would like to see kind of go away moving forward. Is there some type of content you're like, F you, John, stop making that. You're an asshole. I'd love to know. Leave me all your comments down in the comments below. As always, the link for my Patreon's in the description below. The link for my Discord's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.